This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Habayim. A Freilich and Labor Day. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're preparing for Rosh Hashanah. Haba Aleinu L'Taiva. This is our second to last Agra Pirka Shiur of Tafshin Pei Gimel. We're going to discuss a very important topic today. The subject is the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's love for us. And we're going to discuss it in the context of the love of a father and mother. This will, if I may, if you allow me a moment, we're now working on the Sefer L'Kadem Anini in English for Art Scroll, and we're trying very hard to be able to get it out for this coming Chanukah. So we hope to submit it by the end of the Yom Narah, and that it should be ready for publication Be'ezus Hashem Chanukah time. If anybody would like to be mishtatef, if you remember the Sefer in Lashon HaKodesh, L'Kadem Anini will now be Be'ezus Hashem soon be available in English. Upcoming Svarim for Tafshin Pei Daled in Lashon HaKodesh, a Sefer on Chinuch Habanim, in also in English for Art Scroll, a Sefer on Lag BaOmer. Be'ezus Hashem, other things in the works as well. If anybody would like to be mishtatef, Tavei Aleichem Bracha. Today we're going to speak about the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for Klal Yisrael, but not just for Klal Yisrael, for every individual. And we're going to speak about it in the context of the love of a parent, the love of a father and mother. We say in the davening on the Yom Narah, it's one of the dominant themes. We ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to show mercy on us, to show rachamim on us. And we ask Hashem, please be merachim on us, kirachim av al banim. Like a father has mercy on his children. We say, Hahayim harasoilam, hayam yamid b'mishpat, kol yitzurei olamim. We say today is the birthday of the world. Today, all creation stands before you in justice, in judgment. Im kivanim, im kavadim, im kibanim, rachamenu karachim avabanim. If we're like your children, have mercy on us, like a father has mercy on his sons. This comes from the pasuk in Tehillim, Perek Kuf Gimel, kirachim of albanim, richam Hashem al yireyav. Like a father has mercy on his children, God has mercy on those who fear him. Or we say in Tachnun, we said this morning, kirachim of albanim, kein terachim Hashem aleinu v'hoishienu leman shemecha. So we see this emphasis on the mercy that a father has to his children, to his sons. Let us investigate the following very perhaps sensitive and emotional and searing subject. Who has more mercy on their children, a father or a mother? And I think if you would ask most people, the conclusion would probably be 51% of people would say the mother has more mercy, and 49% of people would say the father has more mercy. Because there are more mothers around than fathers. So mothers are going to say the mother has more mercy. The fathers are going to say the father has more mercy. But which one is it? Is it the mother or the father? So there's a very interesting medrash. The medrash tells us that when Esav was coming to attack Yaakov Avinu, that the position that Yaakov Avinu put his children in, he put the shvachos first, and then their children, and then the pasuk says, and that's what it means, achrein chaviv, because Rachel went last. V'hu avar lifneihem, and he passed before them. Says the Medrash, Hadahu dechsiv, kirachim of albanim. This is what it means as a father has mercy on his children. What does this mean, kirachim of albanim? Like the most merciful of all the fathers. Either it refers to Abraham, who wanted even to save the city of Sodom, or it refers to Yaakov Avinu that he passed before them. It doesn't say the mothers passed before them, but Yaakov Avinu passed before them. Kirachim av abanim. Have mercy on us, God, like the most merciful of the Avos. Who's the most merciful of the Avos? Yaakov Avinu, who passed before his children to protect them. Comes the Yefei Tayar. The Yefei Tayar is the preeminent work on all of the Medrash. Battery timeout. I'm sorry. By the way, when I was in Turkey, one of the personalities that I spoke about was the Yefei Tayar, because Yefei Tayar was a Rav in Constantinople, and the Yefei Tayar is the most important work written on the Medrash. Rav Shmuel Yafa Ashkenazi, who lived from 1525 to 1595. He lived in the times of the Maharashtam. He was a student of the Mari Ben Lev and Rav Shlomo Alkabetz. He wrote Yefei Mara, Yefei Einayim, Yefei Anaf, Yefei Koel, Yefei Tayar. He dedicated his life to the study of Agada. He spent 25 years working on Yefei Tayar, and the Chida writes in the Shem HaGdolim that his commentary on Bamidbar and Dvarim were never published. Comes the Yefei Tayar on this Medrash. Why does the Medrash interpret Kirachim av Abanim? Hashem, have mercy on us like the most merciful of our fathers, Yaakov. Why didn't the Medrash interpret it? Have mercy on us like a father, because doesn't a father have more mercy than a mother? No, says the Yefei Tayar. The reason why the Medrash interprets it, Kirachim av Abanim, like the most merciful of the Avos, and the Medrash does not interpret it like a father in general, because the truth is, a mother has much more rachamim than a father. It should say, Kirachim aim albonim, Terachim Hashem aleinu. The answer is, you're right. Really, a mother has more mercy than a father. However, in this pasuk, Kirachim of, it's referring to the most merciful father. But in general, a mother has more mercy than a father. And the proof is, the pasuk in Yeshaya, Hasishkach Isha Ulach Meirachem Ben Bitna. Can a woman forget her baby? Can she not have mercy on the fruit of her womb? So therefore, the opinion of the Yefei Tayar, and it's a very important opinion, and that is the mother has more mercy than the father. But as we're going to see, this is not only not a unanimously held opinion, but the consensus of most views, perhaps contrary to what we would have thought. There's an idea that's brought, Piskei Balabatim Hepech Mi Piskei Atayra, which means that our gut reaction and what we would have instinctively said about an issue is usually the opposite of what the Torah says. We always say, you want to know the truth about any moral, ethical, social issue? A good barometer is see what the media says, and then the Torah probably says the exact opposite. So if you were not sure, right? If you were not sure what is the correct view on an issue, then see what the left-wing media says, and then the Torah says the exact opposite. But it's not only true with social issues or ethical, moral dilemmas. This is true in general, and it's true about ourselves. Not every instinctive reaction will coincide with the Torah viewpoint. And this is case in point. There comes Radak, and the Radak says, Kirachim av abanim, ein rachamim gedolim kirachamei ha'av alaben. There is no greater mercy than the mercy of a father on his child. So maybe you'll say, well, maybe that's a generic term. Maybe Av refers to parent. Maybe it doesn't mean father explicitly. Comes the Maharil, and Maharil likewise says that that we say, Kirachim av abanim, and it doesn't say mother. Why doesn't it say mother? This is the meaning of that which the pasuk says, Yedehei nashim rachamaniyais bishalu yaldehen. The hands of merciful women cooked their children. The merciful women, in a time of famine, they took their children, they put it in a pot, and they cooked the kid for a meal. Says Maharil, The reason why we say Kerachim of Albanim and not aim is because women's Rachamim Eina Ikar. It's not as steadfast. It doesn't have the same endurance. And the proof is that in times of famine, the women were the one who cooked their children. Because while it may seem they have more mercy, no, fundamentally they don't. That's what the Maharil writes. And it's very amazing. It's interesting. You know, we have two institutions. We have the institution of motherhood. We have the institution of fatherhood. Which one would you say is associated with Midas Hadin? And which one would you say is associated with Midas Harachamim? The Ramban writes, Midas Hadin is associated with motherhood. Midas Harachamim, fatherhood. And that is why David says, Kerachem of Albanim, Richam Hashem al Yereav. It's interesting, whenever the Torah wants to attribute mercy to mothers, it doesn't call them mother, it calls them Noshim, like Yedei Noshim Rachamaniyos. But mercy is not associated with motherhood. When we want to associate mercy with a female, we call them Noshim, not Imais. But when it wants to associate Midas Hadin with males, they call, when we want to associate Midas Hadin with females, we call them mother. But as opposed to males, when we want to associate Midas Harachamim, we call them father. But when we want to associate Midas Hadin with males, we call them Ish. So the institution of fatherhood is the institution associated with mercy. The institution of motherhood is the institution associated with Midas Hadin. Comes Rabbeinu Bechaye, and Rabbeinu Bechaye says on the pasuk, Etzem me'at samai, a woman was created from bone. A woman, says Rabbeinu Bechaye, is naturally more inflexible. A woman is not as flexible as a man in personality. Why? Because she's created from the bone. But the nature of man is softer, is more pliable, because he's created from earth. And that is why by man it says Vayitzer. Man was merely created. By a woman it says Vayiven. She's built. It's more solid. Therefore, her personality is more inflexible. So if you have a battle of wills between man and woman, it's a good idea. The man should give in. It's easier for him. Again, we're not talking about religious matters. We're talking about personal things. When it comes to matters of preference, women will be more inflexible. You might not have thought that, but that's the reality. And that's the reason why, says Rabbeinu Bechaye, mercy is attributed to the father. Midas Hadin is attributed to the mother. Furthermore, a woman, she's created from the Garden of Eden because she's taken from Adam's bone, from Adam's rib. He was already in Gan Eden. So she was created from Gan Eden. Man was taken from outside of Gan Eden. So that's another thing to be aware of. But in their very fabric, the Midas Harachamim is more associated with the man because the man comes from something more pliable. Midas Hadin is associated with the woman because the woman comes from the Etzem. And here we have a beautiful medrash that really brings to light and illustrates the distinction between father and mother. The medrash tells us the story, look at number 13, that when Moshe Rabbeinu was thrown into the river, Miriam stood from a distance watching. What was Miriam's interest in the fate of Moshe Rabbeinu? Says the medrash, Rav Amram said in the name of Rav, Miriam prophesied, and she said, my mother is destined to give birth to a son who will save the Jewish people. So when Moshe was born, the whole house filled up with light. Her father came, kissed her on the head, said, my daughter, your prophecy was fulfilled. This is the pasuk says, Vatikach Miriam Hanaviyah Achos Aaron as Hatoif. She's called Achos Aaron, not Achos Moshe, because she said prophecy before Moshe was born. But when he was thrown into the river, the mother got up and hit her on the head, slapped her on the face, on the head. Said, "My daughter, what happened to your prophecy?" Comes the Eitz Yosef, and the Eitz Yosef says, "Wait a second, what's going on over here? Why is it that when her prophecy was fulfilled, so then the father came and gave her a kiss on the head? When the prophecy was endangered, then the mother came and the mother gave her a slap. What is this disparate relationship that when things are going well, the father comes and gives her a kiss. When things are not going well, the mother comes and the mother gives her a slap. Listen to this wondrous Eitz Yosef. Says the Eitz Yosef, here we see the fundamental distinction in the behavior of a father and a mother. When it comes to the father, when the kid is being successful, when a kid is righteous, when a kid is doing well, the father comes in, the father is beaming, the father enjoys the nachas, the father is besimcha more than the mother. So if there's a graduation and the child is getting accolades, surely both the father and mother are beaming, but the father is beaming more than the mother. But when the kid's in trouble, and the kid's worried, and the kid is in pain, the mother is the one who takes it to heart much more than the father. Says the Eitz Yosef, this is not just something we see in the Medrash, this is something we see in the world. This is the phenomenon that we encounter in general. The phenomenon is fathers are there to take in the glory, mothers are there to feel the pain of the child. So far we're seeing that the relationship between a parent and a child, although the Yefei Tayar is of the opinion the mother has more rachamim than the father, most authorities, namely the Maharil, the Radak, the Ramban, Rabbeinu Bechaye, they all say the father has more rachamim on the child than the mother. And don't think this is just an academic machlokes, but this has two nafkaminos lahalacha, two ramifications lahalacha. Now, this is not, the halacha I'm going to tell you now is certainly not observed by secular courts, and even Jewish courts will not observe this directive, but fundamentally it is true, although practically it's not really going to apply to this extent. But there's always a question, if there's a breakup between parents, who's entitled to custody of the children? And you know what that's going to depend on? It's not going to depend on who has more rights to the children, but rather who will take better care of the children. Okay? Halacha says we're going to give custody to the parent who will take better care of the child. Kam Shas Tshuvas Mishpat Tzedek, since Kirachim of Albanim, since the father has more rachamim on the child than the mother, the father will put in more effort to assist and care and take care of the needs of a child, and therefore, says the Mishpat Tzedek, the father gets custody of the children. Why? Not because he's the man, but because the way God created the world, the father will make greater efforts to take care of the child. But obviously that is not unanimously held. In the Stei Chemed, he brings from the Beis David, who takes the opinion of the Yefei Tayar. No, the mother is more merachem on the child, and therefore the mother gets custody. By the way, the next situation is sort of a very frightening nafkamina. We all know what's the halacha. Somebody wakes up middle of the night and he hears some noises, and there's a guy with a ski mask and a gun, and he says, "Listen, pal, it's your good friend. I sit next to you in shul. You know, we're good friends. I'm not here to hurt you. So what do you want? Why are you in my house with a ski mask and a gun?" "No, I just want your money." What do you do to the guy? You shoot him, according to halacha. Okay, obviously you follow the laws of your country, but according to halacha, somebody comes in and he's coming just for money. What do? You shoot him. Why? Someone who comes to kill you, you're allowed to kill them first. Question is, how do you know he's coming to kill you? He says, I'm not here to kill you. I love you. I'm the gabbai in the shul. I'm going to give you a hagbah tomorrow. Just give me your money. Now you kill him. Why? Says the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Ayin Beis, because he knows the phenomenon that nobody's just going to stand there like a goylem and hand over the money. You're going to try to fight him off. So he knows that that you're going to attack him. So he's coming to kill you. He's coming to kill you. You kill him first. Says the Gemara, what if you know for sure? Imzarcha alav hashemesh. What if you know for sure it's barer lecha kishemesh that he's not coming to kill you? So you're not to kill him. Says the Gemara, is there anyone in this world that we know he's coming to take your money, but he's not coming to kill you? Could we say that about your brother? No. Could we say that about your sister? Could we say that about your child? No. Could we say that about your uncle? Says the Gemara, there's only one person in this world that we know if he's coming to take your money, he's not going to kill you, your father. Now, he might not be a good father because he's coming to take your money, but you're not to kill him because he's not going to kill you. Comes a Reuven Margolius, and what if the person coming to take your money is your mother? Then it's going to depend on this machlokes that we're talking about. According to the Yefei Tayar, a mother has more rachamim on a child than the father. So if the mother was ba b'machteres, she's coming to dig a tunnel to take your money, you wouldn't be allowed to kill because she's not coming to kill you. But according to most opinions, no. The father has more mercy than the mother. And just because Chazal say the father would not kill you, that does not apply to the mother. To the mother, there's a phenomenon, Yidei Nashim Rachmaniyas B'Shul Yaldeyan. So this is not just an academic discussion. This has nafkaminas lahalacha. The vast majority of viewpoints is that the father has more rachamim than the mother. But then we encounter a very interesting pasuk. Kish asher imay tenachamenu kein anochi anachamchem uvirushalayim tenuchamu. Like a man whose mother consoles him, so too I will console you, and in Jerusalem you will be consoled. Why do we say like a man whose mother consoles him? Why not like a man whose father consoles him? After all, a father has more rachamim than a mother. Comes the Medrash, and the Medrash says, in fact, a father does have more rachamim than a mother. But when it comes to consolation, a mother consoles more than a father. Says the Psikta, Kerachim of Albanim Richam. Take a look in this Medrash. Beautiful Medrash. Amar Reb Shmuel. Darkoi shall of Larachim, like it says Kerachim of Albanim. The Darka shall aim Lenachem, like it says Ki'ish Asher Imay Tenachman. So these are two different relationships, emotions. The father has a stronger propensity for mercy. The mother is more inclined for consolation. God says, I will do both. Ana avid dida'av, ana avid dida'im. Ana avid dida'av, kirachim avabanim. Ana avid da'av uda'im, ki'ish asher imay tenachamenu. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Anoichi, Anoichi, hu menachemchem. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I will console you. Very interesting. So from here it seems like the father has more mercy than the mother, and the mother offers more consolation than the father. Now, this is good according to the majority viewpoints, that the father, in fact, does have more mercy than the mother. What about according to the Yefei Tayar, who he himself said, no, it's the mother who has more rachamim. So the Yefei Tayar on this Medrash says that which the Medrash says, Darkei shalav l'rachem, it means it's the derech of a father only lerachem. It's the derech of a mother lerachem and lenachem. So in other words, according to the Feitayar, he remains consistent with his viewpoint, namely, the mother has more rachamim than the father. However, when the Medrash says the father is merachim, it means the father is merachim and not menachem, as opposed to the mother who does both. By the way, Reb Tzadok HaKohen is troubled that how does the Medrash know that God will both be merachim and menachem? The pasuk says, "Anoichi, Anoichi, hu menachemchem," but it doesn't say "Anoichi, Anoichi, hu menachemchem, u meramechem." It doesn't say I will do both. So, question is, how does the Medrash derive? How can the Medrash derive that God will both be merachim and be menachem? So Reb Tzadok HaKohen says something very interesting. He says, "V'yesh lohaven hakan loy huskarak menachemchem v'loy rachamim." Reb Tzadok HaKohen says the mercy of a father is for the future, to save a kid from future harm. The consolation of the mother is to console the child from sadness of the past. When Hashem says Anoichi, Anoichi, Anoichi refers to the Torah. Like it says Anoichi zemasa Sinai. It refers to the future. That's Kerachim of Abanim. The Torah Shebechsav wards off the Yetzer Hara in the future. Nechama is for the past. It rectifies and corrects past misdeeds, like it says about the Torah, Ulechol Besarai Marpe. When the Navi says Anoichi, Anoichi, hu menachemchem, Nechama is for the past. That's like the mother. But for the future, it's also Al Yedei Talmud Torah, which Rebbeinu Shalom gives us the Torah to equip us against the Yetzer Hara in the future. By the way, it's interesting, the Abarbanel also in Parshas Behaloischa says it's the mercy of a father which is more primary than the mother. Because when Moshe Rabbeinu says, Anoichi harisi asam hazeh, em anoichi letihu, the Abarbanel says, why is Moshe saying that, am I their mother? Moshe should say, am I their father? Because the father puts in more effort to take care of their children than the mother. Like it says, Anoichi, like the pasuk says, Kerachim av albanim. So this is a very interesting debate. Who has more mercy on the child, the father or the mother? Yefei Tayar, the mother. The Beis David, the mother. The Radak, the father. The Ramban, the father. Rabbeinu Bechaye, the father. The Abarbanel, the father. The Medrash seems to say when things are going good, the father comes to take the credit. When things are going bad, the mother takes it to heart. Marv Rabbi Sai, this has been a dilemma throughout the centuries. And the question is, let's conduct a scientific experiment. But the good news is there was a man by the name of Yoav ben Tzruya. And Yoav ben Tzruya, the general of David, Yoav, he conducted an experiment because when he saw David HaMelech write in Tehillim, Kirachim av abanim, Richam Hashem al Yireav, he wondered to himself, what? Kirachim av abanim? How could that be? Doesn't a mother have more mercy? Doesn't a mother have more mercy than the child? Even though the Ramban says absolutely not. The Ramban says throughout the Torah, Rachamim is attributed to the father, not the mother. Now it's interesting. He should have had a father give a kid a bath and a mother give a kid a bath, and he would have seen that when the mother gives the kid a bath, she puts the kid in, she covers his eyes, she leans his head back, she puts a little shampoo in the hair, and she makes sure, chas v'shalom, no water gets in his eyes. When the father gives the kid a bath, he plops the shampoo on the hair, he pours a bucket of water on the head, and if the kid cries, the father says, what do you mean? It says no tears. It says on the shampoo, no tears. Or they could have done an experiment, have a father dress a kid, and have a mother dress a kid. The mother softly wakes up the child, puts one leg in one pant, one leg in another. The father takes the kid and drops the kid in the pair of pants. But that wasn't the experiment. Yoav ben Tzruya went to the home of a poor family who had 12 children and couldn't support them. And he says to the woman, I have a good idea. Why not? I'll buy one of your kids and you'll have money and you'll be able to support the rest of your family. But why should you all suffer? And the wife said, I have to ask my husband. The husband said, no way. Yoav came back another day and he told the woman, look, this is an untenable situation. I'm sure your husband would want this. Here's $100,000. Give me Yankel, and you'll be able to support the rest of your family. And Yankel won't even know the difference. She said, good idea. So Yoav takes the kid. The father comes home. See, the thing is, the father was used to breaking the bread into 12 pieces to give to his kids. Apparently, that's the only way he knew he had 12 kids. Comes home for supper. He breaks the bread. There's an extra piece of bread. Where's Yankel? He says to Sprinza. He says, who's Yankel? Yankel, our child. What happened to him? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Great news. A guy came and he bought Yankel for $100,000. What? You sold our kid? The father takes his sword. He says, either I'm taking my kid back, and if he doesn't, I'm going to kill him. He's looking around for his kid. He realizes it was Yoav. He says, Yoav, give me my kid back. I'm going to kill you. Yoav says, now I understand what David HaMelech writes in Tehillim. Kirachem of albonim kain tirachem Hashem aleinu. The rachamim of a father is stronger than the rachamim of a mother. So now, I'm sorry, this is not a PC shiur, and if it doesn't make you feel comfortable, then, there are other shiurim you could listen to. But it seems to be fly in the face of the reality that women have more mercy than men do. Even though Ramban tells us fundamentally, Rachamim is associated with the father, Midas Hadin with the mother. The Rabbeinu Bechaya explains the father is created from Afar. Right? So the next time somebody says to you, you're a piece of dirt, you should say, yeah, you're right. That's what it says in the Chumash. Ki Afar Ata v'al Afar Tashav. A mother is created from the bone. So I heard this from Rabbi Victor Miller. We have it here written from the Sefer Kav HaYashar. Kav HaYashar says, "V'chein nirali, the machma zeh kasa." By the way, not everybody maintains this. They asked Imrei Emes that Imrei Emes says that the mother has more rachamim. So his wife asked him, but we say karachim of albanim. So Imrei Emes says, you can't be pushy. You got to keep it, you can't have such big hasagas. You ask Hashem, at least have as much rachmanis on us like a father. But, we can't expect you to be merachim on us like a mother. But maybe that's what the Imrei Emes told his wife for Shalom Bayis. But as we mentioned, the majority of the viewpoints are the father's rachamim, in fact, is ikar. Says the Kav HaYashar, why does the Torah say karachim av abanim? Why not karachim im? The answer is because the zachar, the father, he loves his son, so he reprimands his son. Like the pasuk says, Chosech shiftoi soinei b'nai. A man who reprimands his son loves his son. But a mother, sometimes she's soft-hearted. She doesn't want to distress the son. And the mother gives the child what it wants. But the real rachamim is when you steer the child in the right path. Rav Miller used to say, the kid wakes up in the morning, Mommy, my throat is raw. I have a runny nose. Oh no, you have a runny nose, your throat is raw. Let me bring you orange juice, stay in bed. The father comes home from shul. What's he doing in bed? The kid says, my throat is raw. Of course your throat is raw, you're alive. The only time your throat isn't raw is when after 120. Everybody's nose is running. Nobody feels good in the morning. You're tired? Of course, everyone's tired. Get out of bed. No, I don't have enough time. Get out of bed now, or I'm going to carry you in your pajamas. So who's having more rachamim on the kid? So Rav Miller would say the father's having more rachamim on the kid. Because who knows? If kid's going to stay home, you don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he'll go somewhere. He'll end up associating with bad company. The real rachamim is not always what seems to be rachamim on the outside. And that is attributed to the father. Karachim av abanim, kain terachim Hashem aleinu. Why do we speak about this before Rosh Hashanah? On Rosh Hashanah, we're going to ask Hashem, Karachim av abanim, kain terachim Hashem aleinu. Im kibanim, im kavadim. Friends, whose love is greater, the father or the mother? That's something that has been debated for thousands of years. But what is the strongest love in this world? What is the strongest love? Is it the love of a father to a child? The love of a mother to a child? The strongest love in this world is avas adam la'atzmai, is a person's love for themselves. There is no stronger love than avas adam la'atzmai. Says the Chafetz Chaim in the Shmiras Halashon Chelek Aleph Shara Zechira Perek Beis, Ki Yadua, it is known, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu Oihev LaAdam Yoiser Misha HaAdam Oihev Es Atzmai. The Rebbe Shalom loves a person more than the person loves himself. The Roitza Rak B'Toivasan Shal Yisrael, and he only wants what's good for the Jewish people. So Hashem loves us more than our father. Hashem loves us more than our mother. Hashem loves us more than we love ourselves. And even though on Rosh Hashanah we stand before Malkeinu, and we stand Mi Yitzdak Lefanecha Badin, Ki Lo Yizku Be'enecha Badin, and Samar Mipachtecha B'Sarenu, we're fearful of the Oimek Hadin and the scrutiny of the Din. But we also have to remember that we stand before our Father, Avinu Shvashamayim, who loves us more than our father, more than our mother, and more even than we love ourselves. In fact, on Rosh Hashanah, the love Hashem has for us, as opposed to the nations of the world, is one of the things that is up for grabs. But it's regarding that din that the Torah says that we are confident that Hashem will again decide to choose the Jewish people. And that's why the Torah says we dress in our best on Rosh Hashanah, and we wear our finest clothing, and we celebrate like it's a Yom Tif. The Torah says because we know, we're confident that Hashem will make a miracle for us. Who's confident about anything on Rosh Hashanah? The answer is we are not confident about the personal din, but about the love Hashem has for us and the Jewish people. That is immutable, and that we are confident in, and that we celebrate. Okay, Rabbi Isai, next week will be our last year before Rosh Hashanah. Habalinu L'Taiva. Thanks everyone for joining. You could join us today at 4:30 p.m. when we discuss. We'll continue learning the Sefer Tzipisa Lishua. I wish everyone a wonderful day. Bracha v'atzlacha. Bye-bye.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.